Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Talking Snowballs with me, Mike, and Mel. And
Well, obviously you're going to be Mike.
well, I
Because
might have been somebody
woman
else.
wouldn't be bloody mare. Oh, for fuck's sake.
You never know. In this world of transgender, it could have been either of
Oh,
us.
don't
Mike.
fucking start with that. Bullshit.
Well, that's completely away from the topic that we were looking at talking about. So we're going to just jump straight into it, I think. Shopping.
Hate shopping.
High Street Armageddon again this week.
Yeah, it is a shame that these stores are closing because, you know, a lot of them have been around for quite a few years, like Toys R Us, and Next are now announcing that they're closing and stuff. But I find it so much easier to shop online.
It is so much easier. I know when it comes to things like clothes and things like that, a lot of people say they like to try stuff on.
Which you can understand, and like perfumes and things like that.
Yeah.
But in general, you know...
If you're buying an iPad, you know what you're buying.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter whether you buy it from Amazon, I don't know, the local tech shop down the road, wherever, you're buying an iPad. An iPad's pretty much an iPad.
Yeah.
But the internet, I think, just makes it, so, as you say, so much easier for people to be able to go out and find what they want.
Well, yeah, because when you think of it, things are being delivered to your door. You don't have to leave the house, which is great for me because I can't stand people, and that's why I kind of like shopping. People frustrate me. But it's not just that. It's the fact, like, if you haven't got time to go around shops, plus also, if you tend to be one of these people that when you shop and then you see other things and you pick things up that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah, you go into, I don't know, so you go into Tesco or whatever for a bottle of milk and you come out with a bottle of milk, some frozen chips and a piece of chocolate, some bread, a saucepan, and God knows what else.
Yeah. And the other thing is as well, which is great to shop online, is because, well, not all towns are the same, but our town, you have to pay everywhere to park.
Yeah.
It's not like one of these retail industrial sites where it's free parking.
No, you've got quite steep charges and nothing's ever done to try and entice you into town, is it?
It's not even free parking on Sundays, nothing like that, you know? No. And we're just a small town. It's not like, you know, I understand if it was a bit more of a city or what have you, but a small town you expect a bit more lenience when it comes to parking.
Yeah, you'd think that the local council or someone like that would be doing something to try and keep the high street alive, but there's just nothing there. I mean, our high street nowadays pretty much consists of charity shops and
these
cash for gold or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, and I also, getting off the subject a little bit, what I find, if this is happening to the stores now, what's going to happen in the future with internet sales? Because I know there's a lot of people out there who buy online, and if they only want one item, they have to pay for the postage.
Yeah.
So if they then say on the site, or free delivery if you spend 45, people will deliberately spend £45 to get the free delivery, and the stuff they don't want then, they return it. So, you know, there's going to be, you know, you're abusing the system a bit.
Yeah.
So to me, I think if you were going to buy something, I think everyone should pay postage to return no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, the whole free, it must be costing companies a fortune in postage costs, because literally everywhere you go now it's free returns.
Yeah, and I understand that, you know, having free returns and things, but there's, you know, surely they can see that people are just buying some certain things just to get the free delivery. Or, well, why should they get the free delivery and free returns?
The companies have either got to come to the conclusion that they've just got to offer straight free delivery across the board on everything, or they're going to have to find another way around it. So if you order something, unless you're exchanging it for another size or something like that, then the whole order perhaps has to be returned.
Yeah.
I think that would maybe make sense.
Yeah. Or or they have to pay delivery and not have free delivery.
Yeah.
But then they can have free returns.
Yeah.
It's got to be, to me, I think it's got to be equal, because otherwise there's going to be I reckon there's going to be a situation with online, because, people are really abusing the system in that way, and I don't think that's fair. And then they'd be kicking off then when things are going, pear-shaped, that they can't have, the stuff they want because the online is closing down, or,
I mean, online, I think, has certainly got to, a lot of these shops, they've got to really modify the way that they're selling. Because although it's sustainable at the minute, I don't see it being long-term sustainable.
No. And also, when these stores are closing, it's going to be more pressure online, because they won't be able to take the stuff back, return the stuff back to the stores, it's the company that they buy from.
Yeah.
And, why should the stores accept the returns from online anyway?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that stores are taking these online returns makes life very easy, I think, for the warehouse people. But it's just going to lead to more and more problems, because as more and more shops close, there's less and less places for people to take things back.
Well, they're not going to stay open just to have returns.
No.
And no sales, are they?
Exactly.
And also there's reasons why these stores are closing is because of business rates and the rents of...
Well, the rents is the other thing that gets to me, is that I know a lot of sort of high street buildings, they're sort of owned by big companies who aren't too worried really about the money they get in. But you'd think a lot of them would be doing something to try and keep places in these stores.
Yeah, because they get a high risk of having an empty place for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because who else is today what it's like? Who else is going to fill that place?
Well, you only need to take Toys R Us as the example. How many of their stores are absolutely huge? So now they're all closed. Who's going to go into those buildings? They're massive.
Yeah.
There's no companies that are big enough to fill those buildings.
I suppose supermarkets, but they don't want like 3 stores in one area, do they?
I mean, the nearest city to us has got a Toys R Us that's closed, and literally across the way you've got, I think it's Sainsbury's, around the corner is Tesco, and just 2-minute walk away is an Iceland. So I can't see that a supermarket would want to go in there, and it's a huge building. I just can't imagine any other company wanting to fill that building, so it's just going to sit there empty.
Yeah, the only company I can see at this precise moment are doing, I wouldn't say they're doing the right thing, but that's why they're not in a situation, is Primark.
Yeah.
Because they don't do online sales.
They don't know. I think the main reason they don't do the online is because they turn over their product so quickly. It's
literally the stuff are out for 1 week, and if they get sold out, that's it.
They must buy. Okay, I know they've got a lot of stores, so they're probably buying like 100,000 of an item. But you compare that to some other companies, they're probably buying 500,000 of an item so that it's in store for 2 months, say. Whereas, as you say, with Primark, a week, it's gone on something new.
Yeah. And also people, the amount of people that shop,
It's like a hobby for people now.
It is a hobby. It's like a part of a leisure, really. And also, when you think of it, when these stores starting to close and these people are not going to be shopping, you know what's going to be next, don't you? Coffee shops.
Well, yeah, because there'll be nobody in town centres to go into the coffee shops.
No. So that food's already starting to make a bit of, that Italian
prezzo. They're closing down now, aren't they?
And Jamie Oliver's not doing too
No,
good.
he's shutting a few, isn't
You
he?
know, once one thing starts, then the other, and I'm telling you, these coffee shops, there's far too many coffee shops around.
Do you think that some of the bigger chains you can sort of see are starting to diversify with it a little bit, aren't they? It's like just near us, they've had that drive-through Costa.
Yeah.
So it's like on a retail park, and they're obviously they know people aren't going into town centres. It's not so, I think it's probably got somewhere where you can sit in there as well, but then it's also catching the people who are just driving past.
Yeah, or like if they're doing long distance, quickly get the coffee rather than going into the services.
Yeah.
And go.
And I think that's the only way coffee shops will survive. But again, you go into our town centre, and as we say, it's all cash for gold, charity shops, and there's a lot of local little coffee shops.
How are they doing it? I don't know.
I can't imagine they'll survive.
Well, think how many coffees they've got to sell.
That's a lot of coffee.
You know, there's a lot of, these coffee shops, they don't always have food. They just have basic sandwiches, cakes, and
like
biscuits.
a couple of muffins.
Look how many they've got to sell in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year.
Yeah.
To survive. And if there's no stores, people are not going to go out because there's no stores. So that means they are not going to go and buy coffee.
Yeah, so they won't be there to buy it.
No.
So, and I think it's just gonna the problem's just gonna get worse and worse until something major changes.
Yeah.
Whether that's going to be a major change on the internet, I don't know. I can't see the internet.
I see internet just growing.
At the minute, I think it's just going to grow and grow to the point then that high streets contain nothing, and that's the only point then where internet could end up starting to struggle.
Well, yeah, and also there's going to be so much competition on the internet.
Exactly.
That's what's going to happen then. Same as retail stores. Our town literally just had, we're lucky to have 20 different stores.
Yeah.
Now, say there's about 50 different stores, and it's going to be the same amount of money that people can spend, and look how much that has to be spread out.
I'm saying it's spread out between twice as many stores.
And also, it's easier to look at different costs for the same item online. It's much easier and quicker than you would have to go around spending 3-4 hours in town shopping.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the draws, the attractions of the internet at the minute for people is the fact that whereas 10, 15, 20 years ago, you went shopping in your local town, maybe there was 2 clothing stores, 2 electronic shops, 2 stationery suppliers. So to get your pair of jeans or your top, you had a choice of 2 places. If it wasn't in one, you checked the other. If it wasn't in there, then you either brought something else or you didn't buy at all. Now, how many choices do you have online? There's literally thousands.
Do you also think, though, that another situation why it's like this is also supermarkets? They are selling anything and everything in one place.
Yeah, you're right. You go to a supermarket, again, 20, 30 years ago, and literally you could buy your bread, your milk, your food for the week.
It was just literally food.
Now you can go into your supermarket, you can buy anything.
You can buy clothes, you can buy makeup, you can buy skincare stuff. You can even have your keys cut. You can have your clothes
dry cleaned.
Yeah.
And the list is just endless.
Yeah.
And again, they can provide it at such a cheaper cost.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to just sort out and go home.
Yeah, you can just go into one shop, get everything you want, come home, anything you couldn't get in there, you go online and you've got a list of 1,000 different places, not just in this country, but abroad. You want to buy a specific t-shirt, maybe it's not available in this country. Doesn't matter nowadays, whereas before you would have had to you couldn't have brought it
Go
really.
without, really.
Now, if there's a specific t-shirt being sold in Brazil, I can buy it. And I can have it shipped here. It might cost me a bit more, but if I'm that kind of person that really wants it, I can get it.
Yeah.
And as I say, I think that's maybe at the moment that's an attraction.
Yeah.
The fact that you got so much choice online. But I think eventually it's going to become
so competitive.
So competitive, as you say, partly because at the minute, a lot of the competition online is the major high street retailers, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's your Next or your River Island or Topshop or whatever. And people know these brands. But as these stores shut more and more high street stores, people are going to forget about them.
Yeah. Unless they are really liking the brand and they will go online. I agree. They will.
People, once it's not in their town, they'll start to forget about it and they'll look elsewhere online.
Well, think about it. You know, when Woolworths closed, nobody really knew that Woolworths went online, and they're still online. Littlewood's is as well. But I never think about, I need to look for something. I'm sure there'd be in Littlewoods. I don't think of that.
I mean, what does Woolworths online sell?
I think it's like same as like they did, but just like toys. I don't think they sell like DVDs and CDs.
No.
I'm not sure. I don't quote me on that because I don't know. But I think it's like toys that they sell, really.
But as you say, they're out of sort of people's consciousness.
And don't forget BHS.
BHS, yeah.
Are they online?
No, I believe they're not online.
Oh, they were before, weren't they?
They used to be, but obviously when it all closed, I think they're just completely closed. They probably just sold all that stuff onto their other companies because it was all like one.
They probably just couldn't be
company,
bothered and it's not worth it. Because again, I wouldn't think of BHS and buying things. The only thing I would think of BHS is their Christmas range, because I thought their Christmas range beaten Debenhams and all those places, because I thought they were absolutely lovely.
They did have some really good stuff, didn't
Yeah, and then that's gone now.
Yeah, and but now I suppose what you'll do at Christmas is you'll probably look online for that stuff.
Well, that's the other thing, see, now, what I've noticed online as well, why these retail stores are suffering, because now Poundland, they did sell stuff online, but for some reason they've stopped it, and Pound World. But I did Google, like, as if to say, you know, stuff for £1, and there is a couple of sites on there that sell stuff for £1. Okay. But I noticed there was another site on there that was selling toys for £1, and they were branded toys.
Branded.
So if you had like young kids and they needed a backpack, there was a Minion backpack for £1, and if you went to your store in town, they would have been £5-6.
That's pretty good, actually, isn't it? £1. What sort of thing? I mean, I presume they obviously charge postage and stuff, but you just get enough to cover it.
I'm sure it said they charged one standard postage, and you could order as many as you wanted.
So there you go. As long as you make sure you order a decent amount.
So you can imagine Christmas time how much easier it is for families.
Yeah.
You know, they can have it delivered at home when the kids are in school. There's no trying hiding like it used to be, you know. No. Or you had to go shopping quickly before the kids were home or what have you.
Yeah.
You know, it's so competitive now online. You know, where's it going to go from here?
Well, I think they'll end up at the point where there's no high street and people have got too much choice online. And it's going to hit so many there'll be companies going bust left, right and centre. And then you'll get new companies opening up and then they'll go bust and it'll just be one vicious circle. You'll never know who the hell you're going to buy from. Because
I can't imagine, nobody probably could imagine that retail stores are going to end up like this. And now you've got the online. Who would have thought that you could shop online? Yeah. You know, food, for instance. So if this is the case, where's it going to go from online? Is it going to go back to retail stores? Or is it going to be something weird? Like, for instance, you were in front of a computer and you just put your hand through the screen and there you go, there's my bottle of milk.
Well, do you think that the next step might actually be to do with all this 3D printing?
Could very well be.
So you literally, you won't have to pay for delivery.
Yeah.
You just, every so often, you'll buy the material for your printer. And then
there's your t-shirt.
You'll look online, you'll say, I like that t-shirt, I like that mug or plate or whatever.
Yeah.
Hit the print button.
Could very well be.
And then it just prints out and you've got it there and then.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next step.
Who knows?
Okay, guys, I think that's all for this week. So, any comments, any feedback, leave it all down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and the like button.